Hi friends, it's Lisa Hetrick, illustrator for Gina K Designs, and I'm so grateful you could join me today. I have a really fun tutorial that I'm sharing today, and it was about time. I am going to be sharing a new project today using the Gina K Designs Wreath Builder. And I'm a little wee bit obsessed with the Wreath Builder. It is super fun. And there have been some amazing projects shared with this set, but I thought I would share another one with you today. And I'm kind of giving it a little bit of a twist. So here's a sample of something I've done, mashing it up with one of my Hello Beautiful stamp set. But today I want to share a little something different. I want to share how to create a symmetrical patterned paper element using the Wreath Builder set. So let's get started. I'm going to talk a little bit about the things that come with the set. There are two templates. There's a 4-inch template and a 3 3/4-inch template. So here's a sample of what the designs look like on the 4-inch and the 3 3/4-inch. So I'm going to go ahead and get the MISTI out and prepare to put the two templates into the MISTI. So this is how I work with the 4-inch template when I'm creating a piece that's 4 inches wide. I take the 3 3/4-inch template and I lay it in first, and then I put the 4-inch template over top of it, and that creates this ridge around the inside element. So when I go ahead and take my 4-inch piece of paper, and here I'm using a piece of the Gina K Designs Pure Luxury cardstock, when I go ahead and put that in to the template, it kind of lays itself in the ridges that are made between the 4 and the 3 3/4. So it kind of stays still. Now I'm going to need to use the magnets as well to hold it down, but it's sort of another way to get the piece of paper to stay still. So I'm going to start out by using some of the larger blooms in my Hello Beautiful stamp set. And I'm putting the bloom right there in the corner. And I'm using sweet corn, the Gina K Designs sweet corn. And I'm just going to go ahead and ink this up. I've sped the video up a little bit so that you can see the progress. Now, you can really do this pretty quickly. When you have these larger stamps, though, you really need to kind of nest them towards the outer edge. And they are going to, in some cases, especially on the wider side, they're going to bleed off the edge a little bit. But what's going to happen is that they're going to overlap each other so well that you do get that symmetrical look and feel that you would with creating a wreath. But instead, we're creating a piece of patterned paper, so to speak, but a symmetrical piece of pattern paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep inking up this larger bloom and making the quarter turns around the Wreath Builder and building up that first layer. And when I'm working with the Wreath Builder and building from the bottom up, I always start with the lightest color first. So I've got light colors in the base, and then when I go to move to my second pass, I move to another color that's a little bit darker, and so on and so on. So I'm just kind of building it up. So I'm going to go ahead and make this last pass here with the big bloom right on that outer edge. And you can see that the larger blooms, you can use a larger stamp to create this, and it just takes up more space on that 4-inch. So now I'm going to go ahead and ink the bloom up with some Passionate Pink. And now, instead of making the quarter turns, I am just going to make a whole turn so that I'm only getting that Passionate Pink bloom in the corners. So I'm getting a little bit of a variegation of color. I'm definitely getting overlapping between the blooms, and little bits and pieces of the blooms are showing differently. And the beautiful thing about the Gina K Designs ink when I'm doing this is that the ink is a dye-based ink, so it's transparent. It's sort of like a watercolor. So you can see some of the yellow from the sweet corn kind of bleeding through and showing through the Passionate Pink, and I really love that. I think that's why I love the inks so much, because they kind of behave a little bit like transparent watercolors. So we're well on the way of creating this piece of pattern paper. So now I'm going to move towards the inside of the wreath, and using the sweet mango and the bloom, the small silhouette bloom from the Hello Beautiful set, I'm just going to go ahead and ink this up and make my quarter rotations all the way around. Now this part of the stamping is definitely going to look like the traditional wreath, and that's cool because this is where I'm moving closer to the center of the design, and I really want that contrast. So we've got a lot of going on the outer portion here where it's really starting to build that pattern paper look, and we've got that overlapping of the line art images, the line art blooms. By taking this silhouette and setting it up to do the traditional look, symmetrical circular wreath, it helps create that contrast between the line art and the silhouette. And I'm just loving the way this is looking. I really have a good feel for what's going to happen here, and I'm excited. Okay, so I'm taking this leaf portion that is from the Wreath Builder portion of the stamp set. There are several bits and bobbles in the Wreath Builder that I absolutely love, and I think that's why I enjoy this set so much, because I create a lot of builder images in my sets too. So this is a really great combination way to mash up your different stamp sets that you own. So I'm going to go ahead right here. I'm testing color because I really wasn't sure if I'm going to use the Lucky Clover, if that was too dark, if I was going to do Jelly Bean Green, but I honed in on doing Key Lime. So I was doing a couple tests to see if the tone of the color between Lucky Clover and Key Lime was a nice blend with the other colors in the combination that I had already created. And I ended up honing in on the Key Lime. So putting that little, the leaf image in the Misty and nesting it between those two flowers where those flowers meet, just kind of going around the circle again and again, creating that symmetrical look and feel towards the center portion of this wreath. Now, as I get closer to finishing this, and I can't wait to show this part to you, as I said before, the dye inks act very similarly to transparent watercolors. So the color underneath it I've got going on here is sweet corn, and you can see the sweet corn coming through the leaf image, and I just love that. I just love that. It creates so much extra texture and dimension. Okay, so sorry for the nerding out. Now, right now, I was just testing a few things because I definitely want to use this butterfly that I created, but I want to create a grounding element in the center portion of this piece. So I went ahead and stamped the circle stamp, and there are 3 circle stamps that come with the set, and I went ahead and cut it out with a little circle die and adhered it. I had created this butterfly embellishment using the Dazzling Orange foils with the Butterfly Wishes stamp set from Gina's Thermal Web line, and I had it left over, so I thought it was perfect for the center of this card, this pattern piece of paper that I've created with this card, and I can't even get over how beautiful that looks, those color combinations. For the card base, I'm using a piece of blue raspberry from Gina K's line. I loved the contrast between the blue raspberry and all of the bright colors that I used in the card base, the card piece. There are so many cool colors going on in there that the blue raspberry kind of makes it all pop. And holy smokes, look at that dazzling orange shine. I just can't even. Okay, so here's what I'm going to be doing with this card. I love creating art using mini easels, and so I have a lot of those kinds of things in my line. And this is the perfect card to send to a friend with the easel. And so, you know, she gets the card and then she gets an easel to kind of put it on her desk. And how fun is that? So here's the final card. And I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I'm so grateful you could join me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.